Hello, I'm back. So, today I'm going to be giving you my review on Gemini Man. Alright, so to start off, if you're new to my channel, I do my movie reviews in 5 categories: character development, story arc, viewer enjoyment, creativity/authenticity, and then real life relatability. Get up to 2 points in each category for a total of 10 stars. So, start off with character development. Fair warning, there will be spoilers in this review. Now, it starts off with the main character, Will Smith, as Henry, on a cliff overlooking a train in Berlin, about to take a shot on a guy on the moving bullet train. Anyway, he makes it. Turns out he's getting a conscience, so he's about to retire. He's talking to his friend. You get a good feel of his humanity throughout the movie, which is a very good sense. So then he later goes on to talk to one of his best friends, lives on a yacht, meets this pretty little thing at the marina when he's about to take out his boat. He goes, talk to him. Turns out the guys that he used to work for are over listening. Something happened. So you get a good feel. One of the other characters, you don't get a really good sense of her and her development, but you get a sense of how she is when she's with him. And there's another character, an old friend of his, that flies planes and takes them all over the country. They served in the Marines together, so it's a nice balance. But overall, I'm gonna have to give the character development a 1.5. They do a great job in detail on Henry, but not so much on the other characters. So moving on to story arc. So for the story arc, is very well blended, to say the least. So after he takes a shot on the bullet train, goes to the yacht, takes his boat out, comes back, he finds a bug on his boat, talks to that pretty little thing. Turns out she's DIA, government, so he blows her cover. They go out on a little date where he lets her know, hey, I found it. So afterwards, the people who worked for him come to take him out that night. He ends up getting the drop on everyone, killing everyone, and then goes to wake her up to find out if she was in on it. She wasn't, so then they go all around the world trying to stay safe. But Gemini Man's after him. So Gemini Man is the clone that they made from Henry. He didn't know that Henry was the guy they made a clone from, so they ended up going about this whole, who is he, where'd I come from, your typical clone cliche kind of stuff, but they made it work for them. It didn't feel forced upon or cliche, but they had put their own spin on it, which was very nice. But with that said, the way it blended together, I'm going to have to give story arc a 2. It was very well written. Hats off to the writers. So, up next is viewer enjoyment. This movie was serious. Like, the whole time it was being serious. There wasn't that much comic relief. The action scenes, oh my gosh, amazing. Props. There is one action scene at the very end with a new character that gets introduced that is just going to blow your freaking mind. Yeah, I said it. Anyway, so when they end up going about and just, even though it's serious, it's relatable serious. So it doesn't feel forced upon. But with that said, I'm gonna give viewer enjoyment a 1. There were a couple things they could have done better, a few things they could have clarified, maybe put some suspense on like, oh, these are actual characters, something could happen to them, why should I care? At least that's just my thoughts. So viewer enjoyment, I'm only giving it a 1. Next category, creativity / authenticity. Back to what I said earlier about the bloody cliches. The movie is, they do, Gemini is the name of this company. So Will Smith, Henry's character, him and his buddy that was flying the planes, can't remember his name, they end up getting out of the Marines together along with one of their other co-workers who is the head of Gemini, and they end up, he asks them if they want to come work for him. They politely decline. That gets the owner of the CEO of Gemini kind of angry because there's never been another soldier like him. So he took some of Henry's DNA, made a clone about him, and raised that boy as his own, called him Junior. And when old Henry finds out about this, he's just, like, interrogates him, shows, I am you. You're afraid of this, you're afraid of this, you do this, you don't like this food. That scene's very well. Hats off to Will Smith for playing both of these parts. But the way they do it is actually in no way, shape, or form is this related to this movie, but I kind of got a iRobot feel about the character. But again, no way, shape, or form related to iRobot at all. But with that said, it was the sci-fi kind of relates, I guess you would say that. So for creativity and / authenticity, I think I'm only going to give it a 1. So next up, last category, which is going to be real life relatability. For this category, even though these are movies, there are certain time jumps and everything that you have to focus in, the small little details. So, like, if it's daylight in Berlin, it's probably not going to be, like, people just waking up in Georgia. And so, they kind of do some stuff like that, but there are some time jumps and everything. Some things that are just kind of, like, far-fetched, but for the most part, they tend to stay kind of true to everything. Kind of understandable, relatable. Even though it's a sci-fi movie, they have a somewhat scientific theory to where it would be plausible. So at that last fight scene at the end that I told y'all about, that's when it starts getting real sci-fi. It starts getting a real sci-fi feel to it. But overall, the action scenes just like complement it so well, it doesn't feel like one. It feels like an actual action movie. So for real life relatability, I'm going to have to give it a 2. So with that said, we got a character development as a 1.5. We have story arc as a 2. Viewer enjoyment a 1. Creativity / authenticity a 1. And then real life relatability a 2. So for a grand total of a 7.5 stars out of 10. I would definitely recommend this movie. I enjoyed it. It's a nice, calm, relaxing action movie if you just want everything. There was one scene in the movie where the characters were talking, and then the theater itself just started shaking. Like, what was that? Complimented my experience very well, even though it probably wasn't. Anyway, so that's my thoughts on Gemini Man. If you have any questions, any concerns, comments, leave them in the comment section below. If you have any questions, I'll gladly try to get back with y'all on that. I love movies in general. If you have an idea for a movie you want me to review, please let me know, and I'll get back to you on that. With that said, thank you, and have a good day, Internet people. I'll see y'all next time.